What's up, what it do, cyber world? It is your girl, the one, the only Ash Said It, ashsaidit.com, ashsaidit.com. Welcome back, one and all. This is the Ash Said It Daily podcast show. I appreciate you guys tuning in with your girl. You know, we always have multitude of things going on, and you never know who may stop by the show. You never know who's going to be a guest. So today I've got a special treat for you. I have got the one and only Charles A. Brown. Charles, how are you?
How are you? How you doing, Miss Ash?
I am doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. Charles, where are you right now?
I'm currently in Knoxville, Tennessee. This is where I reside.
Okay, cool beans. So what's the weather looking like out there in Knoxville?
It is absolutely crazy. There's a storm that has just come in. So it's a good time that you and I are talking right now because I certainly want to be out there in it. I have another meeting about 6 p.m., so this is a good time for us to talk.
Gotcha, to kind of slip it in. Well, Charles, I really appreciate you coming through and being a guest on the show. I know you've got a tight schedule. But
thank you. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. So, Charles, let's jump into your background a little bit. You've got a pretty extensive background with criminal justice. Let's talk about where that interest began for you.
Correct. I have a degree in criminal justice from Wilmington College of Ohio. It's a small private liberal arts school in central Ohio, right between Columbus and Cincinnati. I'm one of these inner city kids that had the opportunity to play ball at a private liberal arts school. It was a different time for me, but it provided me this platform that I'm speaking on almost 30 years later.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that platform, No Quotes. Where did that ideal come from?
Well, as I said earlier, I'm an ex-collegiate athlete, and because I still love collegiate athletics and also professional sports, my field in criminal justice showed me something. And I'm sure, I don't know if you're a sports person, but it seems like the media has always showing gentlemen are getting in trouble. And what's getting them in trouble is the things that they say. So I basically came up with no quotes. It's like, man, just be quiet and play, you know? And as I really start thinking about it more and more and more, I start seeing the exact same things. And basically, no quotes basically means allow your character to speak for you. You don't have to say a word. If you walk with a higher spirit, then everyone should see it, and you don't have to say a word.
Wow, that's powerful. Very powerful.
I
So,
appreciate that.
Yes, definitely. I think that's just a powerful movement, and I think that a lot of our young people need to hear such things. You know, they need to hear those words and need to understand that not even just the words. This social media is a great thing for business, but it's also, you know, it's like a big brother. It's always taking over and watching. So once you post something online, it's always there.
And you have to be very mindful of the things that you say. I always say this: everything we do requires just a little bit of thought, and that's what I try to get out to kids. That's what I try to get out to college students, and believe it or not, that's what I try to get out to even the professional people that I work with.
Right.
Once it's gone, once it's out there, you can't bring it back. And I think so many times, especially in these times, folks get caught up on our smartphones. We get caught up on social media, and we're looking for something that should be uplifting, but sometimes we're involved in so much banter that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And it's just, we get so lost in it. I think that sometimes it's good to have like a detox, you know, maybe a social media detox of it, because it can be overwhelming. You can get pulled into it before you know, 6 hours have passed and you're sitting up there on Instagram and Twitter and you haven't eaten.
Exactly. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Please don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not telling you that all quotes are bad. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the things you don't think about, things you just go ahead and write, things that you don't think before you respond to it. That's the things that I'm talking about. So in the criminal justice realm, the first rights that are provided to you by law enforcement is the right to remain silent. 75% of people don't stop talking because they honestly don't know their rights. This past last week, Tuesday, I did a presentation with the Pellissippi State Community College, and I spoke to some young kids, and we talked about that, how they should interact with law enforcement and trying to understand the triggers that an officer might be looking for and how you have the ability to not touch those triggers. All you see in the media are folks getting either beat down or maybe law enforcement are going to the next step. The question is what's being said? How are we responding? Are we thinking before we make statements? So that's what this whole no-quote philosophy is all about.
Absolutely. So you say you're taking this to schools. Are you necessarily considering maybe a tour? Is this going to be something that we can see across, the U.S.?
I would love to do that. What I want to do is try to connect and collaborate with a business entity. Okay. I would love to do that with a sports company. I would love to do it with colleges because again, I know this is something that both of these entities are interested in. But the issue is having the right person and the understanding behind what this philosophy would be. The logos that I have made, I want those to be a cerebral trigger, if you feel me.
Right.
And understanding that once you sport this, it's like, wait a minute, this person is thinking. This person is a person of substance, rather than just brash words.
Yes, definitely. That's a good idea, and that's definitely we need more of that. We need to have more of these conversations so that our young people can fully understand. Okay, this is the climate that we're in right now. You need to be smart about it. You need to be.
I'll tell you, criminal justice speaking.
Yeah.
When you folks really don't know how quickly you can get involved and your life can make a turn based on things that you say, or based on places you might go, or based on friends that you might frequent. So-called friends, let's say that.
Yes, I actually had to have a really good talk with, we're not going to say any names, but we have some relatives out there that are, hanging with the wrong crowds and doing those things that they don't need to be doing. And so I had to have a heart-to-heart with one of them, and I said, look, you need to really stay focused on school. You don't need to have these distractions around you, and these people that you think are your friends, I'm telling you. Because usually, parents will see this stuff first. I don't have any kids, purposely. But parents will usually see this stuff first in their kids, and they'll be able to tell you. My mom used to always be able to tell me who my real friends were and who I needed to not be hanging out with. And she was always right.
Based on that and what you just said, I'm going to tell you something else that I've been trying to do to get my message out. It's amazing, social media and new technologies. On my iPad, back in November of last year, I began to make 3.5 to 5 minute trailers on specific subjects. Okay, because I was in front of a mogul, and I'll tell you who that mogul is 2 years ago. And what he told me was, man, continue to write. Continue to make sure your brand is about something. So the more I thought about it, I said, well, why not just video some of these thoughts? So what I do is with my laptop, I go to a site where I just start writing, and I write my own script, if you will. Right. And then when I start trying to recite it, it's like 3.5 minutes long. But anyway, based on what you just said, my latest one is called Life Stages. Okay, and you can see all of mine at either on my Twitter account at CB No Quotes, on YouTube at the Brand No Quotes channel, or on any of my Facebook cause page, Brand No Quotes, and my regular Facebook page, Charles A. Brown. But Life Stages is about what's expected in the next age of life. And subsequently, my daughter just turned 13 years old this Friday. And we have a relative that just happens to be locked up too. And she received a letter, and she read the letter, and she brought it to me, and I said, "How you feel?" And she said, "Well, I feel a little sad, you know." And I said, "Why?" And she says, "He's missed out on so many stages in life." I said, "So you really looked at what Daddy was doing?"
Wow, like she really gets it, you know. You know, that's a blessing. Yeah, that's a blessing.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, in those 3.5 minutes, I talked about stages in life that everyone should be able to understand. And I also put in the middle that, now I understand life-altering issues happen that might force people not to go to the next stage. I understand that. However, if it's left up to you, everything we do requires thought, right? We got to get to the next stage because life is not going to wait for you. Your friends are going to pass you, right? And then you'll be catching up. So I just had to bring that up since you talked about it.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's just, I'm really, I guess you could say concerned for a lot of this generation that's coming up now because it's a completely different age than any other generation previously. And just,
you know why that is, though, correct?
Well, that's a huge chunk of it. It's just, everything is just so open today, for kids, for school age kids, adolescents, teenagers. And with it being just so open, there's like no filter anymore. There's no filter. Like they could go to a public library and look at crazy stuff, or they can get stuff on their phone. They can get in contact with someone that, you know, there's just so much open, and they are so desensitized, I feel, for a lot of this stuff because they don't realize. They're thinking, oh, in the moment it's fun, this is this, and oh, you're tripping because whatever. But they don't realize, okay, that moment that you go and get in that car, that moment that you go for a ride, you could possibly not come back.
That's right.
That's a reality of it.
Exactly
you could possibly not come back.
Right.
So,
exactly right. And I think in them making the decision not to put themselves in that predicament from the front end, requires just that little bit of thought that I'm talking about. As I told kids last week, you know, when you get ready for work and before you walk out the house, you come back, you take another look in the mirror. That's how much thought it takes to do something. You know, just to take a look. Am I straight? Am I okay? Now let's go ahead and hit it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of when I say everything we do requires thought. Just a little bit. It might help you make a better decision.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's talk about, let's just get back on track. You know, we fell off a little bit, but
I'm
no
sorry.
quotes.
I apologize.
No, you're good. I tend to fall off tangent, but that's what the show is about. It's unscripted. There's no outline. There's no definite things that we're definitely going to hit on, but it just is, it's really interesting to see how the mind works and how we can jump into something else that, you know, really wasn't, this is gone rogue. We done went rogue, Charles A. Brown. We done went rogue. But
I apologize.
No, you're good. I love that. It's very raw, it's very real, and that's what people want. And people want authenticity, and that's what we're bringing to the conversation today. So, in 10 years from now, where do you see no quotes going?
I want no quotes in every professional locker room. I want no quotes in every collegiate locker room. I want all of my sentiments of success so they can understand that it's really not about this game, but it's also about life.
Right.
A cerebral trigger is something that snaps you in reality, right?
Right.
So my sentiments, I have 9 sentiments that go with this No Quotes brand. And if you go, anytime you go to my website, there's going to be flashing pages with the definitions, but passion, grit, grind is 1. Effort, emotion, abandon is 2. Own, commit, conquer is 3. Okay? All of them lead to the sentiment of why speak? Be. You see what I mean? So I want all of those 9 sentiments placed in the locker room. So cerebrally, eventually, if it's ingrained in your mind and you can take it from the sporting field into life, in everything, if that makes sense at all, you know?
Definitely, definitely. So Charles A. Brown, let everybody know how they can get in contact with you if they want to book you at their college or school or wherever. Who knows? I don't know who's listening right now. Appreciate the downloads, though. Let them know how they can get in contact with you, Charles.
Okay, thank you. My email address is really easy, cbnoquotes@gmail.com. As I said, I have 2 Facebook pages. I have Charles A. Brown, which is just my regular Facebook page, and also have Brand No Quote. And Brand No Quotes is the cause page that talks a great deal about the things that I'm doing and the things that I have done over the past couple years.
Mm-hmm.
I can be reached on Twitter at CB No Quotes. As I said, there's going to be videos that you could take a look at on YouTube on the Brand No Quotes channel. I love the opportunity to talk to people. This is exactly what I want to do is to get out and talk to more people about this philosophy of no quotes. And again, like I said, it's more of a lifestyle brand. Now, if the lifestyle manifests itself through gear, because that's exactly what all the sporting guys have done, but I'm not trying to compete with him, because I think no quotes is Pop Warner, right. Middle school, high school, college, and pro. You know, so but if we manifest it through sports apparel, then that's fine too. My situation is making better people, and I think this is what we need right now. Yeah. You see what's going on. You see, I have to watch the news every night now, because what in the world is going on? What's happening?
It's crazy.
And who's acting so bad and talking so much trash?
Yeah.
Why speak to be? You know what I mean? 2 people are so angry at one another. I hope we don't end up in a war, but it looks like we're going there, doesn't it?
It's looking pretty crazy. I mean, I know that, you see a lot of national, I'm not sure if you're paying attention to regional too, but we're having some issues down here in Atlanta, Charles, that it is not even funny. Between the I-85 bridge collapse, now one of our other highways, I-20, has buckled due to a gas leak.
Wow.
So we're having some major problemos here in the A-town on the roads. So all my AT aliens.
Did not know that.
Yeah, that literally just broke within the last couple of hours. I was checking and heard it. 20 is another important highway in the metro Atlanta area. So if you guys are out there, if you live near 20, definitely be safe. They said the west side, I-20 West, Interstate 20 West has buckled. It is blocked off. Like, it's crazy. Wow. You guys go check the news. But Charles, we definitely appreciate you for coming through today. Any last words for our young people that aspire to do something bigger and better in life?
Yeah. Wow, you made me think right then. Talking about everything I do requires thought. Dare to be different. Dare to be different. I had no idea that playing ball would take me to a private school. Graduating will give me my own platform to be able to communicate with folks I do not know. I just was different. I just did something different. Again, I'm from the inner city, and sometimes we have to fathom to do something that other people aren't doing.
Right.
And that's what I've always done. One last little thing on the no quotes movement. I want to give you a complete definition, and I know that I'll express myself, but it's for everyone. It's that single parent making ends meet. It's that behind the scene players who never gets rest but always comes through in the clutch. It's that individual who is seemingly meaningless but comes through to be a major cog in some business venture. Purpose and responsibility achieved through cerebral cultivation and maturity. This growth is fertile for both the mind and the spirit. So the last thing that I always say is, don't talk about it, be about it. Why speak? Be.
All right. I love that. That's perfect. Don't talk about it. Be about it. A lot of people out here, they want to show. They want to show off and show the glitz and the glamour. But this show here just really came from a place of sadness, darkness, and it has turned into one of the biggest blessings of my life as I continue to just encourage people and let them know it is possible. If you can dream it, you can be it. You know.
That sounds like its own show.
Hey, wham, bam.
Right.
But
Right.
Charles, again, thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Thank you, Ms. Ashley. I appreciate any opportunity.
No problem.
To have a platform, you know, and as you see, I'm trying to build on this platform.
Absolutely. It's coming, brother. It's coming. It's in the works. The wheels are already in motion. And I thank you all for tuning in to, of course, the Ash Said It Daily podcast. I love and appreciate you guys so very much. Continue to push forward in the movement. And always remember, despite what anybody has to say, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face and tell them, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. Because that's what we're doing. This is for the history books, all right? Social media is nice. It's cool. It's fun. But real life is so much better. I'll hit you guys tomorrow morning. We hitting up 8 a.m.